my hose touched right here. Alright, so I already blocked the hood, or at least the driver's side. This is already blocked. The whole thing is pretty much ready for epoxy. Most of the rough shaping is done. But pretty much that's what it looks like right now. Liking how it came out. Here's where I had the major dent. So this side's pretty good. Just got to do this other side and then shape it up. But if you guys remember, there was two dents here that were right on the crease, or right on that body line, and I was able to take it out with the stud welder. I want my people at the top, no more baby. So the hood is ready for primer. So I'm gonna do epoxy and then polyester right on top of it. So the videos you just saw, I was scuffing it up. I was sanding it all the way through. I went all the way up to 180 grit. So it was 80 grit, guide coat, then 120 grit, and then guide coat on top of that, and then 180 grit, and that's where it's at right now. So right now it's at 180 grit, and it's ready for the polyester and the epoxy. So I'm not planning on primering or painting the bottom side of the hood. So I'm gonna end up scuffing all these areas here with some red Scotch-Brite, and then putting some tape here on the back and putting some paper here, so that way none of that gets sprayed. The bottom of it doesn't get sprayed. And that's pretty much where I'm at right now. So it's ready for that primer. Hit it up. I'm gonna do 2 coats of epoxy and then 3 coats of the polyester right on top. And this is what it looks like right now. It looks very colorful. I'm gonna clean it with some prep spray right now. It's always a nice clean surface. Clean it all up, get it ready, let's start spraying. These are all the blocks that I used. All the Durablock. So we'll see how it looks after the primer. Block it after that. Go from there. So let's start spraying. So as primer, I ended up putting 2 coats of epoxy and then 3 coats of the polyester right on top of that. I did wait an hour in between the 2 different primers, and this is what it looks like right now. So that's where it's at right now. I only put polyester primer only on the areas that I did do some body work, so I didn't put any polyester on top of this. I only put the 2 coats of epoxy here, and then I did get the edges. I got everything all the way around. I didn't put any polyester anywhere on these edges, only on the top of the areas that were body work. There was a low spot that I noticed here, so I did spray 3 coats on here. And then one thing that I did make a mistake on was my hose touched right here. So it touched right there. You can see where it hit it. So my mistake with the hose was that I have a 25-foot hose that I was using, and at that side where I was at, I couldn't reach to put the hose over my shoulder or the back of my neck, so that way the hose wouldn't get close to the panel. So I do have a 50-foot flex with Flexzilla. Yeah, it's a Flexzilla hose. I have that, but I haven't installed it yet. So now I'm gonna put it on and make sure I use that, so I don't run into that problem where I'm touching the panels with the hose. I gotta be more careful. The good thing is this is just the stage of the primer. It's not the final stage of paint where, you know, it would be a big problem and, you know, have to deal with it then. But it's good practice for priming or for painting. So that's pretty much where it's at right now. I finished blocking the passenger side. I did 180 grit all the way through. Came out pretty clean, real good. You can see the line right here, all the way through. There was no low spots. I blocked it all the way down as far as I could without going all the way through. Some areas started coming out, like right here, this area here. I think it will be covered up with the urethane primer that I'm gonna put on top of this. I'm not gonna do another session of polyester, so I don't know yet, because I still have to do the driver's side over there. I don't know how many low spots there is gonna be over there. I don't think there will be. If there is, then I'll decide then if I'm gonna do another session of polyester, which would be like another 2 or 3 coats of that. But as far as I can see on the passenger side, it looks real clean. Like I said, if I don't have to do a polyester session again, I think it will be covered up with the urethane primer. This spot there. Then I got this spot here, which should be covered up with some urethane primer. And then these are just pinholes. Before I primer it, I'm gonna do a little glaze. And then there's another spot right here. But that was about it. Other than that, it came out pretty clean. Really liked it. Like I said, I really like how this sands. It sands real smooth, real easy to shape. I just need more patience to be able to shape it up. For example, like right here, I was using the round bar. So I was using this one pretty much to try to go in there, but instead of like digging in there, I was taking my time and kind of, you know, being patient with it and kind of massaging it in there, so that way I got a real good little transition there, and I didn't have like a nice or a ugly dig there, and then when I painted it, you'll be able to see it. So far that's where I'm at. Looking good, really like it. And then I did this spot right here. I had like a little spot right here that came out. I noticed that spot as soon as not the polyester, but as soon as I laid the epoxy, I was able to see the reflection of a little indentation there, or a little low spot. It came out already. So these areas are gonna come out. I gotta do the rest of the epoxy. But yeah, just gotta do the driver's side, and this side should be pretty good. So I'm in the middle of blocking the driver's side. And you can see some black spots here, right there. There's some right here, right there, all the way right there. There's a big one right here. And then there's a couple here and here. And then this whole side I haven't got to blocking it with the smaller block. But this is pretty much what it looks like in the middle of blocking. So I'm gonna continue going at it because I still have meat. I haven't hit the epoxy or metal yet. So that tells me I still have some meat there or some filler some of that poly that I can still block down and make this real smooth, real even. There's this right here. I'm going all the way from this edge here, this body line, to this body line here, and this is a low spot here. So I'm gonna keep going until this evens out. I have enough meat, like I said. On the passenger side, I did hit epoxy there, so I stopped, but that was pretty good. So I'm gonna continue blocking this. Just wanted to show the in between. And then right here too, there's another area that still has some guide coat on there, which tells me that these are low spots. I'm gonna continue blocking it with the long block, well, the longest one I have, which is this one, and go from there. So there it is, it's the next day. I did 3 coats of the urethane primer, took off all the masking tape. I'm really happy with the way that it came out. Looks real clean, looks real straight, real smooth. So I'm gonna let it sit for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna block it with 220 and then 320, and I'm gonna leave it at that stage. And I'm gonna do the trunk lid as well. The trunk lid, if you guys remember, I did 2 coats of the urethane primer and left it like that, and I said I was gonna put it back on the car and then work on the rest of the panels. But if I leave it at 320, I think I'll be all right, because then the next stage after that will be the 400 and then 600 wet. So if I leave it at 320, I'll be good. Then put them back on the car and then keep moving on to the next panels. So yeah, it looks real good. Really, really like it. So I kind of put my hand on this right here, so that's why it looks kind of, the dust, I moved it around. Yeah, it looks real clean. So there it is.